Hi, welcome back to Inner Peace Place. I'm Karen. Today's lesson is number 35, Develop Self-Love. The tools that we use for all of this work is learning to use the advice and or counsel of our personality self, past habits and experiences, and blend it with advice or counsel that we receive when we stop and become aware of our connection to the all that is, or our higher self, soul self, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to name it. So developing self-love. People can develop the issue of feeling lack of self-love if they're raised in a family or in an environment where their own gifts or their own specialness is not an honorable thing to have. In other words, if they are unimportant or insignificant part of the family unit, if that's how they're led to believe or feel, then they have a lot of difficulty learning how to appreciate themselves because the external environment doesn't appreciate them, so why would they? And what happens is that they start comparing themselves to others in an effort to emulate them. In other words, I'm obviously not able to produce properly. My existence isn't important, so I will find somebody that I value and be just like them. In other words, I'm putting my own self on the back burner. My own desires, my own needs are just not important. And these individuals will compare themselves to others no matter what they achieve. So even if they're high achievers, even if they are extremely successful, they will never feel the self-love because they're not addressing the issues behind their reason for obtaining, gaining constantly on the I need to go, 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 go. If you don't accept yourself in this moment, the love cannot be felt or appreciated. When a person doesn't have self-love, they fill that void with being their perfect self-critic, their best critic, their most profound critic. Nitpick every single thing that you think, do, or say. If you do this enough, you create a state of stagnation because you know that no matter what you do, it isn't going to be good enough. So part of your psyche just says, okay, I'm not going to do anything. I am not going to try to compete. Another type of person might do the opposite and just say, I'm going to go out there and attack this issue because I'm not going to allow others to feel this way about me. So in other words, they're overachievers, but it's coming from a false base. It isn't reality. Those people, no matter what they do, either extreme, it's just not good enough. It's not good enough to create self-love. Their vision is hampered beyond the ability to self-correct. The only thing they know is the energies of criticism. That is their home base. That's what's comfortable. That's what's known. And by comfortable, I don't mean they like it. They go, yay, 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 criticize me more. I mean, that is just what the energy that is known. And so that's where you are comfortable. That's where you're it's the most familiar. The connection that you have with the all that is a place of non-judgment. There's no fear. There's no self-criticism when you are connected or aware of your connection to the all that is, to your higher self, to your soul self. When you find that connection, when you play in it, there's a peace that is not obtainable when you're in a state of pure personality self. Know that when you are engaged in negative self-talk, negative criticism, that it is not coming from you, the all that is. It always coming from the personality self-ego. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it is, and it's a habit, and it has a lot of energy power behind it. Thought energy power, memory power. It just is. And so now, today, you can say, wow, I think I do that. Never really thought of it that way before. This is something that I might be able to start looking at with love and see if there's a way that I can, when I'm in that state of negative self-talk, when I know that I can't do something, that I'm able to take a breath, become aware of my connection, and make new decisions that may skew my path ever so slightly into a more joyful direction. If you're feeling the need to forgive yourself, that's not coming from your higher self. There's no judgment. Things are this way, and it's all good. But if you're deciding that you want to take a path that is more peaceful, then look at these things and say, well, I guess there's a different perspective. I've been locked into one singular perspective all my life. And I am going to step out of my comfort zone and see what I can create with the assistance of the all that is. Again, this becomes the new habit. Self-criticism, self-doubt, fear, stagnation, all of these things slowly melt away because what takes center stage is the connection, the vibration, the energy from it. And through that, self-love gets bigger and bigger and bigger and becomes prominent. It becomes the new focus. And this is through a habit, a new habit that you've developed. When you have thought energy in anything negative, it does snowball. If you have thought energy into anything positive, it does snowball. So, this new habit needs to be, I choose to put thought energy into these types of situations, this type of relationship, into self-love, self-appreciation, if I want a more peaceful life. Negative self-talk, again, never is coming from above. It just can't. It isn't in the vocabulary, it isn't in the energy. It's when you have deficits, when you feel that you have a deficit, it is addictive because it is creating that energy. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't think this way, you're not good enough. Any of those thoughts are addictive. And because you've put years of energy into them, stands to reason it's going to take more than 2 minutes to put energy into positive, uplifting thoughts and have it totally skew the path. By changing the focus of your thoughts, the wind is taken away from the sails towards negativity. The wind is now blowing towards uplifting, self-loving, self-appreciating thoughts, thought energy. Thought energy is extremely powerful, day in and day out. We need to remember that. So persistent awareness of patterns in your life create upward flow. Persistent. That's the trick. We were persistent in negative self-talk. We were persistent in belittling ourselves. So when I say change a habit, you need to persistently do something, it sounds like work, but really we already have the skill set. We developed that when we were young. So how can I shift my skill set from persistently having thoughts of negativity about myself into thoughts of positive energy, positive light, excitement, joy, love when I look at myself in the mirror? I want to be able to develop enough self-love that I can look in the mirror and say, I love you. That is the most profound thing you can do with all of this work that we've been talking about. You can look in the mirror and honestly see yourself with all of the past, the present, and perhaps future that you can imagine, and say, I love you. I appreciate who you are right now. That would be the biggest gift you could ever give yourself. Your whole life would change. Because all of the energy you're magnifying or magnetizing into your life would be upward flow. Sounds simple, huh? Self-love occurs as you reduce negative guidance from your insides. Now, some of us are exposed to negative guidance or negative influences as adults. So it isn't just children growing up in that. Adults can experience this, and many times do. Because if you think about it, you had such strong energies in your beingness for negative self-talk that it's easier to have somebody else do it to you. Then you don't have to worry about doing it. They're going to do it to you. So be observant. Look for these patterns in your life and stand firm. Through the grace that you received from the all that is, you can stand firm in self-love, self-appreciation, and joy. The side effect, of course, is inner peace, which is what we're all after. I hope some of this resonated with you. Please feel free to contact me through my email. Love and light to you and your path, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.